What is up, Retromaniacs? My name is Mike. His name is Joe, and his name is EP. We're here to talk about cards. You know what? There was a big Twitter debate this week. We're going to talk about it.
No.
Yes, there was. There was a big Twitter debate about cards, and specifically buying cards on eBay and combined shipping. This was a big thing. A lot of people were giving their opinions on it, and we're going to talk about it because we've used eBay for a long time. We buy on there, we sell on there. We have a channel where we can talk about cards. This is a perfect fit for us.
Check.
The main issue at hand is there was somebody that had bought 9 individual cards from a seller on eBay. They were apparently all eBay standard envelopes, the lower end stuff, and paid for all 9 individually. And then the seller took all 9 cards, combined them together in a bubble mailer, and sent them all out that way. The issue the buyer had was that he paid like $9 for shipping, and the seller only cost him $4, but he didn't give him any kind of a refund. And he reached out to the guy, found him. He did find him on Twitter. I don't know if he reached out through eBay or on Twitter. I think it was through eBay, but he had asked about it, and the person basically said that, well, this is our business model and we feel like $1 per card is fair, so we're not giving you any kind of a break on the shipping. So that angered the buyer, and he found them on Twitter and kind of ended up calling them out on Twitter. And so everybody was giving their comments. So we are here to talk about it as well. That's the situation at hand. Basically, let's start with, is there a right and wrong, first of all, in this specific situation? And then we'll talk about a little more general terms about how to avoid these things from both ends. But what do you think, Joe?
Well, I'm going to kick it to EP, but I'm going to say one thing real quick. Can we start by blaming eBay a little bit? Is that part of the things we're going to talk about? Because I want to blame eBay. And I'm just going to say this because I just relisted. I sell a lot of singles and Marvel cards, like the You Pick singles. And in the shipping options, I noticed this, and it kind of frustrated me. In the shipping options, you can put $1, let's just say $1 per card shipping, like in this scenario. And then it's like each additional card is, and then you can add a certain price to it. So say each additional card that they get out of this You Pick is 25 cents, right? So if they get $2, it costs them $1.25. If they get 3 cards, it costs them $1.50. But the problem is the delta between a few singles cards that can fit in an envelope and more than that sometimes is not the difference between a bubble mailer cost, like what is it called, Ground Advantage now, the bubble mailer Ground Advantage cost, and the eBay standard shipping. So they could buy more cards that cost too much to put into a eBay standard envelope, but not be enough to warrant a bubble mailer. Long story short, eBay needs to do a better job, right? Can we all agree on that? Like, eBay really needs to figure out how to make this work better. And I think that's my big takeaway about all this, because regardless if you agree with the buyer, the seller, and we're going to probably argue back and forth a little bit on those two things, I think we can all agree that eBay needs to do a better job in how they do combined shipping, because right now, not great. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. eBay, definitely some very limited options there. It's just, I would like to have a lot more ability to figure some things out. That's why I go with free shipping for all my listings that are under $20 or that don't need to be, like, that's not a thick card. Like anything that can ship eBay standard envelope is free shipping for me. Like I just totally avoid all of that. So I'm away from, I just stay away from all that. But Mike, to your original question, I think that the correct answer, and I know the buyer's not going to be happy about it, but the correct answer is there's a policy in place. This is how much you pay per card. And so that is kind of the correct thing, whether that's how it should be. I mean, as a buyer, you have to kind of expect, well, this $1 card, he's not offering any sort of deal, so I have to expect that I'm going to have to pay $1 per card. That's not best practice, but that is what's in the listing. So
And that is what I saw a lot of eBay sellers arguing. Now, they were in the minority. A
Mm.
lot of people were on the other side of that. Like, I think there's a little bit of right and wrong on both sides in this. Like, I do feel like as an eBay buyer, you should never assume like combined shipping. I feel like you need to reach out to them, and if you don't hear back from them, assume that they're not going to give you a break.
100%.
Now, from my perspective, when I have people that just buy like that, if there's a big difference between what they paid and what I'm trying, I send them a partial refund back. That's I've been doing business on eBay for what 25 years now. So I just feel it's the best thing to do. I'm not trying to make money off of you on the shipping. I try to give you your card. That's not what I'm here for. So I will just I've had people very graciously message me back thanking me for doing that, but that's just how I do it. Now, maybe if there were two cards that they sent eBay standard envelope, maybe sometimes I send both of them in one and I don't. Although I have refunded the shipping completely on one eBay standard envelope. That's just how I do it. I feel like that is the right way to do it. But at the same time, as a buyer, just don't assume everybody's going to do that, because there are a lot of people that try to make money off the shipping and they don't want to give you a partial refund back if you paid more. So like I think if I had to pick, I do kind of side with the buyer. I don't think it's a good policy to take $9 in shipping and then only spend $4, because I wouldn't do that personally. But at the same time, you have to know there are people that do that, and that can happen, and that a risk you're probably taking. Like if I was the buyer and that happened, I was like, well, yeah, they didn't get back to me and I decided to do this. What am I going to do? It is what it is.
Yeah, I just want to be clear that I also I side with the buyer. But the correct thing for me is like that's what the policy is. So you have to kind of expect it. So I just want to make sure that put it out there. I'm not sitting here trying to take money from you.
Don't assume they're going to do the right thing, like, because it's the card hobby. Never assume that other person is going to do the right thing.
I have many quotes about this throughout our lexicon. So yes, never assume that someone's going to do the right thing, for sure.
This is a legacy thing from back in the day when people would charge $1 for a card, but then charge like $10 for shipping because there was no fees on the shipping. But now the fees
include now eBay caught up to that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. So my thing is, like, I'll say I get where the seller's coming from a little bit, but I do a lot of the same things that Mike you described. You know, I've refunded people without them asking me, because I'm like, I sell toys sometimes too, and they're more expensive to ship than cards, obviously. So, you know, like my standard shipping for a toy is say $9.99, right? If someone buys like 3 toys, it does not cost me $30. I've had people not ask me for a refund. And when that happens, I just send them one. Sometimes they'll say thanks, sometimes they won't, but I'm like, it did not cost me $30 to send this. So that's kind of on the higher end level of this. In terms of this, I will say, if you're buying a card for say $5 and the shipping's $1, if this guy would have bought 9 cards from 9 different sellers, the shipping would have probably been more. To be fair, you know, you never know how much someone's going to ship per card. So $1 a card at the end of the day isn't that bad. The shipping cost itself is probably like $4 USPS ground advantage. You know, add in the cost of the supplies. I know some people don't like that, but some sellers do add in the cost of the top loaders, the sleeves,
they do cost
bubble
money,
mailer itself, right? Like things cost money, so they add that on there. Now, $9, no, that is not. Someone said to me one time when I complained about this, because I got once in this type of scenario, someone actually commented to me, well, the gas to get to the post office. Legitimately, I swear to God,
I've seen that a lot.
I've screen capped. I sent it to you guys. The gas to get to the post office should be accounted for in the price of shipping. And I'm like, I'm done. I just walked away from my own thread. I'm like, I can't deal with this ridiculousness. But like, there's some happy medium between it costing $9 for these 9 cards versus costing $4, because I don't know if $4 is enough, but I know $9 is way too much, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
I would recommend too, like, yes, like the bubble baler and stuff, but factor that into your price of the card, because people don't like when you add a certain number for shipping and it gets too high, that makes people mad. People have the option to look at your price on the card, so factor it into the card. That should be, that's how you should be doing business. You shouldn't be adding, well, I have gas and I have this sleeve, and the sleeve and the top loader, that's part of the card. Figure that in, like, do yourself a favor. But
also, do you never leave your house? Like, you need to take a
I never go to the post office because I always have them pick it up for me. So
you have a good situation because I think your mailbox is on your porch. So
it's out at my driveway, but
but they come up and you have like a covered porch.
I mean, if I have smaller stuff, I put it in the mailbox and put the flag up. If not, I ship stuff all the time, so I'll have packages. I'll leave them on my porch, and my mail carrier just said to just say packages on the porch and put the flag up, and a little thing I put in there.
I should do that more often. The problem is I have like a little bit of a little bit of a covering. So if it's raining, I really don't feel comfortable leaving stuff out there. If it's dry out, I probably should. And then I give my mail carrier a Christmas gift every year. They should walk up to my door and pick up a couple of packages. So, but yeah, to that point, unless it's something that does not fit in the mailbox, I'm just putting it in the mailbox and putting the flag up. Why are people complaining about travel costs? They're going to start expensing miles on eBay shipments. I don't know what's going on.
Depreciation on the car.
Your response to that person on that Twitter thread should have been: do you include that in your tax forms when you fill out your taxes for your?
I bet you they do. Sales? I bet you they do.
They probably do.
They have to be careful with that though. If they
I'm beneficial. It benefits me that I live in the downtown. Like I live in the same block as the post office, so I can just walk my stuff there and make sure that I can just drop it right in. It's not an issue for me.
Okay, so in general here, let's look at this 2 ways. What can you do as a seller to try to prevent these situations? Go ahead, Joe. Sorry, EP. Joe gets to go first.
Yeah, I do. Just think of it. This is how I feel. Think of it as if you were the buyer. It sounds super cheesy, the golden rule, right? Do unto others as you expect them to do unto you. I kind of feel that way with this. Like, I would never try and make money off of someone as a buyer, but let's just reverse that and say, what if as a seller, I would never do that. Let's reverse that and say I'm the buyer. I don't want to be taken advantage of. So as a seller, I need to have that same philosophy when I am selling stuff on eBay. And I'll tell you what, that guy, maybe he's going to have cards up in a month, 2 months, 6 months that the buyer would have come back and got. Guess what? That buyer's never coming back and getting those. You're done with him. You're never getting that sale again. And sure, it's only one person, whatever. But I've had so many repeat customers come to me on eBay and say, I really appreciate how you package this. I really appreciate the cost of the shipping. I really appreciate the timing of the shipping. And they buy more stuff. And I think there is almost a lost art to that, if that makes sense. Like, people need to be better sellers. Just be
more
a seller,
professional.
Be more professional. Be a business person who's trying to draw them potentially back in to be a buyer again in the future.
GP?
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. That is what you should be doing. And like I said, I do free shipping on all of my cards that are under $20 that fit that's small enough that they can go through the eBay standard envelope. And I think it's I build in that's the shipping price into my costs, or into my fees, into my prices. So $1.65 is like $1.50, $1.65 is pretty much as low as I go with my cards. And then, so if people see that and they can see this is free shipping, then that's fine. And I realize that there are other people out there selling for 99 cents and $1, but I'm okay because I don't have to deal with again, the eBay's so limited on their options for shipping, for combined shipping and stuff, that me doing free shipping kind of avoids all of that. Then when I do something that is not free shipping, either because it's a jersey card or it's an expensive card, I do calculated shipping. So that means eBay figures out the amount. So that means if people use the add to cart feature, which every one of my listings, I say, please use the add to cart feature if you're going to buy more than one card. I want them to use that. Yeah. It's extremely important because, for at least on my end, where I'm selling $1.50, $1.99 cards, the 30-cent transaction fee that's on every transaction really adds up. So if they use the add to cart, that takes that out of the equation. And also allows calculated shipping to do its job as well. If you do that with the add to cart feature, calculated shipping, it's going to figure it out for all of it. I do think you have to adjust it sometimes. It's going to add in all the weights for all of it, but you do it but you can go in there and do that, and then give refunds, which I've given a number of refunds for that sort of stuff too. So I really there are ways to make eBay work. You just have to think about it and try to make it work.
Yeah, and we talk about it a lot about, making the buyer happy. Like, there are just too many people in this business that like take each transaction of like it's a transaction. They're making money. They want to make money. Like, it's a business relationship. Like, you need to try to make the buyer happy. The buyer being happy is a good thing for you. Like, you don't understand it in the way your brain's working if you're worried about getting every penny. Get those people coming back, and because it happens, you see it happen. So do the right thing. Like, you're never going to be wrong doing the right thing. And that, if that's sending somebody a refund if they were overcharged for shipping, like, people are going to appreciate that. They're going to make comments and put it in the feedback. People are going to see that and go, this person is somebody I can trust. Like, that's a big deal on eBay. Like, if you were walking around a card show and there were like 2 dealers there that you knew did shady things, you're going to avoid them and go to the other people. So don't think if you're buying on eBay that is any different that other person's sitting wherever they are in their computer. Like, you need to run it professionally and just do the right thing. Don't try to make money off of shipping, make people mad.
By the way, one last point. As a seller, nothing makes me happier than the feedback I get, and I have totally screen capped and sent this to you guys. People,
quite a bit.
People who love you being a good packing and shipping seller. Like, people take that into account of you as a seller more than the card itself in a lot of cases. Like, I've left non-feedback or have not left feedback for certain people because of their shipping costs and their packaging. Like, I've not left negative feedback, but I haven't left positive feedback. Nothing makes me happier than people who are happy with how I ship and package cards up.
And I just want to add one thing, Mike. Just what you said, you'll never be wrong doing the right thing. We need a T-shirt that says that with our logo on it, and just wear that everywhere. Like that's
a good one. That's like national coming up. We'll do it.
Think about if more people in the hobby just followed that rule. Just think about how much better our hobby would be.
Yeah.
Well, I lean toward the "Don't you know who we are" T-shirt for the national. But anyway, so what can a buyer do to help protect themselves, keep themselves out of these situations? I'll let EP do this one.
Yeah, let EP go first.
I mean, the first thing is make sure you look at the shipping, make sure you look at the description. I realize that so many people, they just look at the title and they'll look at the photo and think, okay, I'm buying it. And they're not looking at the fine print, which could be disastrous in some cases. Like, again, if you have been using eBay as long as we have, and that somebody was charging $20 for shipping for a $1 card, like, and you're not paying attention to that, like that can be a problem. Luckily, it's not quite like that anymore, but you need to be vigilant, of course. Just make sure you're looking at the listing, the title, the photo, and the description at all times. That is not even when it comes to shipping, just in general. But when we're talking about shipping specifically, like, make sure you're reading the fine print on these sellers, because again, scammers going to scam if they can, and even some people aren't scammers. They're going to try to get an extra 50 cents out of you through their shipping.
Joe?
And honestly, sometimes they don't know. So first off, always reach out, right? Always. And this buyer, to his credit, did. right? He tried to reach out, said, "Can we combine shipping? Is there something we can do?" For sure. I think that is a necessity. Reaching out, and if they either don't respond or respond, nope, our policy is our policy, dude. If this were like $1 or $2 cards, you can find them from someone else. Like they
Mhm.
are available elsewhere. Go find if you don't feel comfortable with their shipping policies and their pricing, go to another eBay seller. You will find someone with that card, right? So that's the one thing. And I don't think any of us want to like quote unquote victim blame here. You gotta read their policies. You gotta read it because you know what? If they put them on there, eBay is going to say, well, they're clearly on here. You can read, right? You need to follow their policies. If they're not doing anything wrong with how they mapped out their shipping, that's kind of on you, and it sucks. It really does. I got caught up in it myself. You really need to read it and understand what their shipping cost policy is because
It doesn't
that's
make it
very
right.
important.
Right. It doesn't
It
make it
doesn't
right.
make it right.
But it is
Yeah.
correct.
I don't think
It is
any
like-
of us think.
Yeah.
I don't
But
think
if they
any of us think
if
it
they
makes it
don't
right.
have it and don't tell you, don't assume that they're going to do the right thing.
Don't
Right.
assume
That's
that. Never assume
that's-
anyone's going to do
That's
the right thing.
the whole theme of the show. And the one other thing is, like, I just found out this option I don't believe is available on the app, but the add to cart, and you can request a shipping total, request a total from the seller. That way, if you have 9 cards, you put them all in your cart, and then you can say to the seller, what are you going to charge me for shipping and stuff on this? Then, like, as the seller, we get an email and I can go into eBay, I can adjust the shipping, and then I send out what's basically an invoice to that buyer. So if you are on the app and you can't do it on there, if that's actually true, if you're looking for multiple items from the same seller, do yourself a favor, go to the desktop version for a couple minutes and use that add to cart and request total from them. You just, each item you want, just hit add to cart, and then when you're done, you go into your cart and you can request a total from the seller, and then you'll see if they're going to charge you ridiculous amount for shipping and not give you a discount, or give them the option. Typically they're going to do that. I do that a lot when I find stuff from the same seller. It's usually quicker than trying to message back and forth about,
Right.
do you combine shipping? Just put it in there, let them know what you're going to be buying, how much money they can make, and if they don't give you a discount on the shipping like they should, just pass on it then. So that's my best advice.
Let me complain about eBay one more time though and say, if they are giving you a discount, the seller is giving you a discount in other ways. Like if you buy 1 card, you get the full price. If you buy 2, you get 10% off. If you buy 3, you get 15% off. You'll see those in those complete your set or pick your singles kind of auctions. You can't request a shipping because you already got a discount. You can't request combined shipping. When you hit that little I or whatever it is, and to request combined shipping, it will pop up and say, this seller is already giving you a discount. You cannot request any additional or combined shipping. So there is another thing that eBay, again, we joke around about this a lot. eBay's like a 1995 website still. Like it may look a little flashier, but there's a lot of
Doesn't
things that they need
really.
to
No,
clean
it
up.
really doesn't.
Like, yeah, it really kind of does look like I started in 1999. I'm the baby
Yeah,
of the
it doesn't
group
look
in
any different.
1999.
Yeah.
It kind
Yeah.
of looks the same. So, I mean, there are some things that I 100% agree with that philosophy, Mike. Add the cart and the request. But if you have any other discounts from the seller, chances are eBay won't let you request combined shipping, which is stupid.
Okay. Well, let us know in the comments. Did you think of anything we forgot about? Totally disagree with us? Totally agree with us? Let us know. But other than that, I will see you guys next week. Take care.
See you, boys.
See ya.